Hello traders and welcome to another video review. Today is Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. Let's take a look at the Forex economic calendar for today. So what do we have here? Overnight data, mostly from Australia. RBA interest rate decision in line with the expectations. The RBA decided to leave the interest rate at the level of 3.6%. We got the data from the New Zealand financial stability report is scheduled for at 9 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, ECB President Christine Lagarde will give a speech, and at 12:35, FOMC member Bowman will give a speech as well. German Buba Balz will give a speech at 1 o'clock. Trade balance data from Canada are scheduled for release at 2:30, together with exports, imports, and trade balance data from the USA. JOLTS jobs openings are scheduled for release at 4 o'clock, together with the factory orders. Global daily trade price index is scheduled for release at 4 o'clock as well. 2 hours later, at 6 o'clock, we got Atlanta Fed GDP now. At 10 we got API weekly crude oil stock, and then the data from the New Zealand kicks in, employment change and unemployment rate, together with the AIG manufacturing index and the speech from the Reserve Bank of New Zealand governor at 11 p.m. So quite busy day even during the late US session and early Asian session. So without any further ado, let's switch to the charts. We are start with euro dollar. Euro dollar for our time frame chart, new low located at 1.1499 into the extremely oversold conditions. So the euro dollar should now at least try to move higher. This level here, which was the key technical support for the bulls, will now act as the key technical resistance. These two arrows are no longer needed. We need to break above 1.1545 in order to move a little bit higher. On a 4-hour time frame chart, the market conditions are extremely oversold and the bulls are trying to move up. Let's take a look at the British pound, because something is going on here as well. The British pound extends the view lower, back down towards 1.3127. So now this is the technical resistance yet again, and the market will now be moving towards the yesterday's low, 1.3096, and then even lower. Let's take a look at the daily time frame chart. Where do we have the next target? Well, this target is exactly here. 1.3095 is the last result for the bulls. ABC to the downside is now a long time ago completed. This trend line is no longer needed on the daily time frame chart. So what do we have here is acceleration to the downside as the US dollar is getting bought across the board. So the next target for the bears is 1.2707. The technical support here is quite valid. Not much is here, because as you can see, within the few days this market did the V-shape kind of a V-shape reversal and moved higher. So right now this market is extremely overbought as well. So if we won't find a support here, as I mentioned, then very quick movement to the downside might be done. Target 1.2707. So please keep an eye on the current situation on the British pound. Australian dollar, after the data published in form of the interest rate decision, didn't actually change the point of view. Right now on a daily time frame chart, we got a local high at 6,620 and then reversal to the downside. So now the situation is in favor of the bears. However, as you can see, we are still moving inside of this narrow range. We are going to add one more level here for the local high. This will be the minor technical resistance. Now we are building the supply zone. The technical support at 6,528 had been violated. So because there is the trend line very closely to this level, let's just move it lower. let's just move it like this, and then this level will act as a technical resistance. We got the series of the lower lows, we got the series of the lower highs. The market is moving, keeps moving down from the extremely overbought conditions back down towards the extremely oversold conditions. There is still some room to the downside. There's room to the downside here. Australian dollar under the pressure. New Zealand dollar versus the US dollar is showing us again some sort of a pressure here. We just moved lower below this trend line here that used to be very helpful for the traders. Let's make it black. Okay, so that was the trend line. We got the touch of this trend line, and then let's say it was something like this, right? We got the touch, bounce, and then the breakout. The recent technical support located here at 5,677 had been violated yesterday. Today the market is trying to move higher because we hit the extremely oversold conditions. So let me just leave it for now as the technical support. Let me leave it for now as the technical support. A marginal violation with the local low at 5,668 and the swing low as well. But now it doesn't actually looks that the market wants to move very quickly lower because of the extremely oversold market conditions. So let's give it a chance. It's still under the bearish pressure. The momentum is bearish, the trend is bearish. Nevertheless, maybe it is a time for a pullback on a 4-hour time frame chart. Let's take a look at the S&P 500, because the S&P 500 is coming off the recent highs located at 6,920. So we will mark this level as the technical resistance. As you can see, the gap has been filled, all right, and now we are going towards the technical support. This technical support is obviously a quite important one because this is the technical support located very closely to the trend line 6,755. So any breakout below this level might be very bearish. Momentum is down, momentum is negative, very closely to the extremely oversold conditions. So please keep an eye on this technical support for today. We might see some sort of the buying pressure as the bulls should be defending this level. If not, then obviously we might go as low as this low here, 6,652. So that's the minor technical support, but the major technical support remains here in this area where the demand zone is. Let me just make it a little bit thicker. There you go, 6,530. So the outlook for the S&P 500 a little bit bearish. It's a kind of a pullback, not a fully blown correction. And now the last but not least, we are talking about the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is moving lower, the Bitcoin is moving down, back down towards the low of the October 11th, 102,292, despite the fact that those are very bearish conditions, extremely oversold conditions as well on a 4-hour time frame chart. Let's take a look at the daily. And the daily still has some room to the downside. Look at this. Daily still has some room to the downside before we will be the extremely oversold. Nevertheless, you can see clearly that the Bitcoin is under the pressure, the bearish pressure, and any breakout below this level, well, will directly expose the level below the $100,000 located at 98,092. This is the low from the June 2025, the end of the June 2025. So very interesting situation here. Our supply zone keeps getting rejected, so the bearish pressure is still visible on the Ethereum. Let's take a look at the last market for today. This is the Ethereum market. If we switch to daily, you can clearly see that this is the last result for the bulls, because we got two levels here, 3,427 and one more just below it, 3,300 and 53. So any violation of this level would likely be very, very bearish. Market is below the 100 periods moving average on a daily time frame chart, and there is still some room to the downside before we will hit extremely oversold market conditions as well. That's everything from me for today. Thank you very much for watching this analysis, and I hope I see you guys next time. Take care and bye bye.